what has happened to collective purpose in the West. As a feminist who lived through and was in many ways formed by one of feminism's most historically inspired moments in the 1970s, the question has special resonance for me. We have lost our capacity for political rage. Can passion be stronger than power? Do we want it to be? The publication of J'accuse in 1898 and Zola's subsequent trial were the occasion for the most vicious outpouring of anti-Semitism across France. The day after publication of the letter, anti-Jewish riots attracting up to 4,000 people broke out in Nantes, Nancy, Rennes, Bordeaux, Moulins, Montpellier, Angoulême, Tours, Poitiers, Toulouse, Angers, Rouen, Châlons, Saint-Malo, as well as in Paris. Jewish shops were attacked, synagogues were besieged, Jews were assaulted in the streets, effigies of Dreyfus and Zola were burnt. In Paris during the trial, the anti-Semitic agitator Jules Guérin, founder of the French Ligue Anti-Sémitique, orchestrated his troops on the left bank and all around the Palais de Justice. I can still see, writes Reinach, the furious young woman who came after me trying to tear off my Légion d'honneur ribbon while the demonstrators screamed out, "Death to the Jews, death to the traitors." The most scathing of critics was Bernard Lazare. He was, as I said, the first defender of Dreyfus. He is our final hero. Last but not least, he spoke out long before Zola and Picard. It is Lazare who raises most powerfully the question with which I wish to end today. What does it mean to be a Jew? Throughout the whole saga, he never ceased to identify himself as a Jew. And in this he was already exceptional. Let it be said, he wrote in an open letter to the former Minister of Justice, that the first who spoke, the first who stood up for the Jew martyr was a Jew who suffered in his own flesh and blood the sufferings of that innocent man, a Jew who knew to which disinherited, wretched people of pariahs he belonged, and who drew from this awareness the will to fight for justice and for truth. The struggle for Dreyfus is not over. That the story of Dreyfus, the fight for justice, leads rather to universal human rights and the need to abide by international law. To my mind, the Goldstone Report instead affords Israel a unique possibility, and I would say obligation, to take responsibility for its own actions, to recognize the injustices it perpetrates, not just during Operation Cast Lead in that dreadful winter of 2008 to 2009, but on a daily basis against the Palestinians. There will always be a better way to serve a country, quote, than to wrap oneself in blind faith. All comparisons are invidious, of course, but we could say that we already have our Zola. We already have J'accuse. I belong to the race of those, Lazare said, who were first to introduce the idea of justice into the world. All of them, each and every one, my ancestors, my brothers, wanted fanatically that right should be done to one and all, and that the scales of the law should never be tipped in favor of injustice. For that, over centuries, they cried out, sang, wept, suffered, despite the outrages, despite the insults spat at them. I am one of them, and wish to be so. And that being the case, don't you think I am right to speak of those whom you haven't even dreamt of?